everything is spiritual, right? And I can tell you that you know what I'm talking about. Like a lot of people don't know this stuff. And when I say these things, it goes over their head, but like you get it. I know you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the moment I touched his hand and we shook hands, it was like, uh-oh, I felt it.
Mm.
Even though there was no physical, it was not like a physical attractiveness where I was like, oh, it was nothing like that. I wasn't looking for anything. I just felt it in my spirit.
And you know what? I think most people who get into these kinds of relationships, like they know when it becomes something that it shouldn't be. Like when the compliment was something it shouldn't be, or the message was a little inappropriate. Like, if you're honest with yourself, when you're
Yep.
about to step into dangerous territory.
100%. And that's a key takeaway from this right now, is because it's like, if you're honest with yourself, you really do know deep down, because you have a conscience, like you, and whether people believe it or not, like, so yes, it can be completely avoided if you choose to resist those feelings. But yeah, so it was super easy to fall into, but I remember just talking myself into it and making myself feel better the whole time. It's okay, Jess. It's just, you guys are just friends. There's no physical things whatsoever. You guys aren't doing anything else. He's just your friend. It's okay. Not doing anything wrong. I remember telling myself these things, and it's like I was rubbing myself on the back saying, it's okay, girl. Like, no big deal.
Yeah. Follow your heart.
Yes. And I did open up to a couple of friends at the time. And what they told me was, do you, girl? Girl, do you. Do what you gotta do.
Friends think that that's like loving advice, but that is the most unloving advice friends and family can give. But the problem is a lot of people don't know the Lord and follow biblical principles and realize that that's what's best for themselves or for their friends. So they give this bad, social media-esque advice of follow your heart and you do you. Yeah. And this is terrible because this leads us into destruction. This is not good advice.
Totally. And like, I want to give just those people like so much love as well, because they don't know, right? It's like they love you as a friend. But if they're not following Jesus, like they're going to tell you just these things that make you feel better because they love you. They love you, but it's not wise counsel.
Exactly.
That's why it's so important that we go to wise counsel versus going to friends, because we know our friends are going to tell us what we want to hear. Those girlfriends told me exactly what I wanted to hear, and that's what I did, right? Like it was almost like I was telling myself, it's okay, it's not physical. And then my girlfriends around me were like, hey, your marriage sucks. Hey, your husband talks to you like crap. Hey, you guys are fighting about this. Hey, this is what's going on. This guy over here is telling you X, Y, and Z. It feels good. It's okay. Yep. It's okay. Do you, right? Like it's almost like they were just, again, they love me. I know that. And I still love them deeply, but it was not wise counsel.
Exactly. And going back to the fact that everything is spiritual, if it's not the Lord, if it's not the Holy Spirit living in you and leading your life, other spirits are going to be living in you and leading your life. And the source to which you're pulling from to give your friends advice.
Of course. And that's why it's like, you will know them by their fruit. And I know these things. So again, like I wasn't like a Christian that walked the walk and talked the talk. I went to church. I knew that God was my creator. Cool. Moved on. Right? Like it was like I checked off the box on a Sunday. I would show up at church, thought that was my thing, and that's all I had to do. And that's it. I was going to heaven, but I was not walking a Christian life. And so that's why I'm so passionate about the Holy Spirit and like the gifts of the Spirit in a Spirit-filled church, because this whole time I thought I was a Christian until I actually encountered Jesus for the first time, and conviction fell in my life, and I was led by the Holy Spirit. Like that's why I'm so passionate about just even church in general. Yes. Don't going to church doesn't mean anything. Like anyone can say they're a Christian. Going to any church means absolutely nothing. You need to go to a church that's going to point you to Jesus, like the Holy Spirit, and get you baptized, talk to you about deliverance, healing, right? Like the power of the Holy Spirit truly guiding you. So I'm just so passionate about that whole topic, which I know we'll get to. I'm getting ahead of
I love that. I love that. You cannot be lukewarm. Just having a cross tattoo does not make you a real Christian or mean that Jesus is truly leading your life.